Alrighty guys, so we've got dumbbell RDLs. RDLs are a tricky little movement because you can potentially hurt your lower back or at least strain it and overuse it if you're not moving properly. So we're going to work from the ground up and we'll talk about the different parts of the RDL. So firstly, with your knees, okay? I want to make sure that your knees are just off lockout. So this is lockout. You can see how they're fully extended, right? Then you're just going to bring them just off, but they've just got to bend. As you do an RDL, you're not going to be squatting down and bending through the knees. You're going to keep them at that position, just off lockout, all right? So that's what you're going to do with the knees. The second thing is your hips, okay? You can see how as I hinge forward, I'm hinging from the hip joint. One of the reasons that I can tell is that I've got a big stretch. I've got to feel a lot of sensation in my hamstrings. If my hips are in the wrong position, you can see how my back is rounded, okay? And I can't feel a thing in my hamstrings. That will mean that there's no stretch going through my hamstrings and the brunt of the load will be taken through my lower back. So what I want to do is pop my hips backwards, stick my butt out, okay? And that way I can feel a big stretch through my hamstrings. And I know that I'm hinging through the hips and keeping a straight, nice and straight, flat back. That's what I'm gonna do with my hips, making sure that my back stays flat the entire time. As I do an RDL and tip forward, most people's mobility allows them to have their hands in line with the knees or just below, possibly. But most people, any further than that, you see that rounding occurs in the back. So when you do an RDL, you only need to tip forward with a flat back as far as you can before spine starts to roll, right? So that's that's as deep as you go. You go as deep as you can, which usually, like I said, most people's mobilities allow them to get around the knee area, just below possibly, and keeping that flat back and then coming back up into the top position, all right? So with your dumbbells in hand, feet are just under shoulder width, just in line with shoulders. Dumbbells stay just in front of the legs, not quite to the side and not quite all the way in front. Keeping your shoulders back, brace your core, okay? And then stick your hips backwards, sticking your butt out. Hands go just below the knees and back up. Keeping your shoulders depressed the whole time. Try not to shrug and hunch.